We have a liftoff. We have a liftoff.
What's up, everybody? What is up, everybody? Listen, if you are tuning in right now on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to hit that share button and invite your folks in the space. We got another great show tonight. I know we were just here with y'all on Tuesday. We don't usually have two shows back to back, but both of these kind people have just like really done an amazing job at being able to reschedule with me. So I am extremely grateful for them rescheduling with me, and I am excited about our conversation tonight. So I'm doing the same thing that you're doing. If you're jumping in with us, go ahead and share. Give me a few seconds here because we're going to do something that we've never done before. All right. We are on Instagram Live, but we're going to change it up. So I'm going to end it there. All right. And then we're going to change this up a little bit. So let's do it like this. First, we got to get this camera around. Okay. There we go. Then let's do it like this. And I think we in there. I think we in there. Okay. Cool. We good. All right. Tam, it's coming your way. So we good to go. We in there now. Let's see. What up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? We're going live. Tam, you can come to my IG now. It is up. So I'm gonna get you to come on in. We're doing good. We had a couple technical difficulties here, but we good. We are good. Here we go. Let's go. I love it. What's up, everybody? All right, let's do it. There you go. Hopefully, we don't get no feedback here. We should be good. And then we will make a introduction. Okay. You in?
I am in. What? If you mute, I think if you mute yours, they can still hear me.
All right, we good. How you
Okay.
feel? I just muted mine.
Yes. So yes, mute yours. I'll keep mine so they can hear me.
Good.
Yay, we did it. The devil is a liar.
We made it happen.
Yeah. Can y'all hear me, Instagram? Can everybody hear me? Let us know. You don't want to miss this. Y'all share this live, share this broadcast, Authentically You. Go ahead and share. This is going to be something that you do not want to miss. So I just want to know if y'all can hear me. That's it. Yes, Dear Future Hubby Podcast said they can hear us. So, okay, cool.
All right, we good. I'm gonna do this because my mic was having a couple technical difficulties today. It's been something today, but you know, we're making it happen. We're making it happen. All right, good. Let's do it. Let's go to work. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Authentically You Podcast tonight. I'm guessing your audience can hear me on that side, correct?
Yes, they can hear just fine.
Good, perfect. Instagram, Facebook. What's up, everybody? We are live, and I can't wave to everybody, but I'll wave to a couple folks that are coming on. I'm excited tonight because we are live 2 times this week. First of all, we're live 2 times. I had an amazing couple on last week. Tuesday, and now you today, and I'm excited about what we're going to share today. But before we get into anything, I'm your host, Duane Williams Jr. Tam, I want you to introduce yourself to people who may not know you. Some people are familiar with you. Tell them where you're from, who are you, what you do, all of that wonderful stuff.
Awesome. Well, I just want to first say thank you so much for having me. You are one of the leaders that changed my life, that really impacted my life. So I just want to say I thank you so much for this opportunity, Duane. And I am Dr. Tammy. A lot of people know me as Tammy with a T. A lot of people know me as Tammy Price. But I am Dr. Tammy. And I live here in Dallas, Texas. I help people lose weight, get healthy, and make money for a living. I am a minister of the gospel. Okay. I'm a leader of thousands, maybe even millions of people. And I have a worldwide ministry called Prayer, Sacrifice, and Action. So I'm in the business of changing lives. So that's what I do. That's who I am.
Listen, I love. Listen, we getting off to a good start. First of all, let me ask you before we even jump into any conversation, heavy conversation, light conversation, middle conversation. How are you feeling today? Let's do a check in. I always do this with every guest. How are you feeling today?
You know what? I feel great.
Good.
I feel great,
Good.
and I'm gonna tell you why. Because
Yeah.
I've been going through some things with my daughter and with my family. And yesterday she came home and we were able to go to a concert together, a little date together. She was able to run my errands for me today so that I can sit in this office and work and prepare for this podcast. And so I just feel lighter. I feel lighter. I feel like a load. I feel like the burden has become light. I feel like things are moving in the right direction. So, today is a great day.
Listen, that's all we can ask for. A great day after a week or a couple of days of a rough week or days. And so it's great to have a good day. Man, let's jump into this because my juices are already flowing because you talked about something already. You talked about changing people's lives. Let's start with this. What made you want to get into the business of changing people's lives? Like, tell me what woke you up and was like, yo, this is where I need to be. This is what I need to be doing. And I need to be doing this right now.
Wow. That's a really good question. What made me get into the business of changing people's lives?
Yeah.
Well, because I needed my life changed. Very simple question. I needed my life to be changed. And I knew that if I can change the person in the mirror's life, after all I've been through, after all I encountered, after all the pain I had to push through, after everything I had to deal with, I know that if I can change my life, it's very selfish to
Mm.
change your life and not to change other people's lives. So I'm like, wow, this works. Like, if it worked for me, how many other people can it work for? You know what I mean? So I made a decision to say, I did it. I'm going to help other people do it. A lot of people, Mr. Williams, just be like, I changed my life. I'm good. My four and no more. Well, me, I had a different mentality and say, you know what? I believe I've been called for such a time as this.
Wow. Let's backtrack just a little bit. When we talk about before there was a Dr. Tammy, there was a Tammy. Like, tell me a little bit about this background of yours. Like what was happening in your life, some of the negatives, some of the positives that got you to where you are right now.
Oh, Lordy.
Yeah, we always got to go back before we go to the future, just a little bit.
you know, well, I come from humble beginnings. I come from
Yeah,
nothing. My mom died when I was 9 years old. I never
yeah.
knew my dad. I never seen his face. His name
Wow.
is Duane, and that's what connected to,
Don't
that.
don't
That.
ch-
Don't
I
start
do.
that.
I
Don't
don't. I'm
start
like, oh,
that.
don't charge us. Don't charge us. The
Don't you
name. Don't
no,
charge us.
no. Don't you start that today. You already know that's what was
Yeah.
going
No,
on.
for sure. For sure. For
No,
sure.
but I remember meeting you for the first time. I was like, wow, my dad's name is Duane.
Yeah.
But I never knew him in my life. I never seen him. And I finally met him in 2014 and he died in 2015, right after Father's Day.
Wow.
So, I didn't have any parents. I grew up with my Aunt Cisa May. My brother helped raise me.
Wow.
And of course, I held her hand 2 years ago next month. And she passed away at the age of 86.
Yeah.
So
Sorry
I
to hear
went through
that.
a lot of grief. I went through a lot of losses. I had my first child at the age of 17. I'm a teen mom that people call me. I'm a teen mom. Said I'd never be nothing. Said I would never amount to anything. And so I was just really living my life trying to figure out, like, what would I do? Who am I going to become with an identity crisis?
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
Overweight. I was 5 foot no inches, 200 pounds,
Did you say
and
5 foot no inches? I love
5 foot no inches. I know you 6'9",
it.
but 5 foot no inches. I was
Yeah.
200 pounds overweight. I was very insecure. I was dating men that didn't help my security at all. Some
Wow.
I ran across some good men, but for the most part, I was attracting who I was, insecure, right? And so, I just came from humble beginnings and I got married at a young age. I got married at the age of 21, divorced by 27. I am 36 years old. So I chose not to get remarried until I knew it came from God for real.
Yeah.
And so I just went through a lot of loss and I went through a lot of pain in my life. And I chose to allow it to push me and not pause me.
Whoa, hold on. Hold on. Now we can't run past that. You allowed it to push you and not pause you. Now in our modern day culture, I was having a conversation with because I'm 36 as well. We both the same age, and here's the thing: I was having a conversation with some older people, both men and women, and they said, one of the things about probably the generation after you, Duane, is like they don't know how to endure hard times. Like they give in to the pressures of life and the pressures of things around them. Like, what made you stay in the lane of like, yo, I'm gonna be a pusher and a fighter versus a crier, versus someone who could really be like, yo, the world ain't give me no lemons to make lemonades. I could really turn this and make this a negative thing. But like, what kept you going to be positive?
Wow. I will say it was really hard. It
Yeah.
was really hard. It wasn't easy. But the one thing I would say to answer your question, what made me make that decision, it was my faith.
Wow.
With my faith in God. It's going to be very hard for a person to push past pain if they don't have no faith.
Wow.
I realized, I grew up in church and I have a relationship with God for myself because a lot of people just church, church, church. They don't have no relationship. That's religion. And so I had a relationship with God And I was like, man, if he can carry this cross, and you know, if he can get 2 nails, you know, if he can raise up in 3 days, if it may take me 3 years, it may take me 13 years, it may take me 30 years, but I can get up out this grave. I can get up out this dark place. So my faith in God and my biblical principles that I live by inspire me every day to say, it's just pain. It's not going to last always. You know, trouble don't last always. And this earth, we're going to have trials and tribulations, but it just don't last always. And I encourage myself. I heard a song long ago when I was young that said, sometimes you have to encourage yourself. So that's what I did. A lot of people can't do it, but that's why I chose to get in the industry of helping people, because a lot of people don't got the keys.
You know, when I hear you talk and you talk about being a teenage mom, and I know you don't regret your children, but do you ever regret like losing your virginity early or not staying focused in that area? Do you ever regret like, you know what, maybe I should have slowed down a little bit? Or better yet, a second question to that is like, what was driving your emotions to make you say, let me give myself in this way? Was it the lack of not having male presence or parental guidance, a strong parental guidance in your life? Talk to us about that.
Definitely. You know, I would say, you know, that made me a little emotional. That question is a really good question. I don't regret my children, but if it was up to me, I wouldn't have had no kids till I was like married at 30 something.
married at 100 years old.
Do you hear me? What I'm telling you? I'm not lying to you. I'm trying to help somebody. I don't regret my children at all. My daughter's 19, my son's 16, and my baby is 10, about to be 11 on Thanksgiving. I do not regret my kids because now I'm 36. I get to live how I want to live, fly where I want to fly, go where I want to go, and I'm still young. I'm in my prime. So it worked out for me. But if I had a decision to start all over again, none of my kids, I wouldn't have no kids probably until 2. I probably have a 2-year-old right now. That's it.
Wow.
No way. No way.
And talk to me, like help us get through why you're thinking like that. Like what made you think like that, or why would you have delayed it? Talk to us about that.
Well, I will tell you this, people. This is the hard truth. My kids was my why. My kids was why I woke up in the morning. I had to go make something happen so that I could feed them. So they were my why. They were my driving force, right? My children, me being a single parent, me being a young mom. I didn't have any parents. I had people that got in that position to be parent me, but I didn't have my parents. Realistically, my mom died. I was a child when my mom died. So I'm feeling like I'm out here by myself. I never knew how to be a parent because I didn't have any.
Wow.
So now I'm young, trying to figure out what 2 + 2 is with no schooling, with no teacher, with no guidance, with no bishop, no, nothing. So, you know, it discouraged me because now I finally I'm being, and it's like, me and my children went through so much stuff I had to take them through.
Wow.
So much stuff I had to take them through and me. So we all growing up together. We all eat noodles together. We're all sleeping in the car together. We're all in and out of relationships together. And it's hard, man. It's hard seeing your kids, telling your kids no. It's hard telling them, man, I only got enough so we can split a burger today. That is so discouraging. It's hard saying I can only get y'all one gift this year for Christmas. That is discouraging. So I would, that type of growth, that growing pain, you know, that I had to go through because I didn't have guidance and I didn't know. I had to figure it out on my own. You know, now I know, like my daughter 19, she like, man, mama, why you wasn't this parent 15 years ago? I said, I was a child.
Like, can you show me some grace? I was a baby.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I had to deal with some things like, y'all, please, you know, forgive me. And, you know, please, because how can I teach you something that I don't even know?
But let's own into that, because once again, I'm already loving this conversation. And if you are watching tonight and you haven't shared, please, somebody that needs to be on this conversation, just simply share this
Oh
with
my
them,
God,
because
please
I
share.
believe this is going to just be a really great conversation. Let's lean into what you just said for a moment about like the apology. And I love it because I got to be honest with you. I don't like all of everything that this world has evolved into, but I do like a good portion of it. And for you, in my mama day, they probably wasn't apologizing for their mistakes. You understand what I'm saying? My mom is 66 years old. Their parents was not apologizing to them for their mistakes. They was just gonna chalk it up to, yo, this was parenting, this is what we had to do. Take it, right? And move on with it and just know I try to do the best I do. But this generation, we've kind of evolved a little bit more uh in touch with our inner feelings and understanding what things can cause and how things could be of effect. That now parents are like, hey, I just want to let you know I was a single mom out here, and so yes, I was test driving on you, so please forgive me. What made you come back to the table and have this conversation with your, at least your oldest daughter, and say, look, I need to apologize, not because I was wrong, but because maybe there's some misunderstanding in my parenting towards you. How did you go about that?
To be honest with you, the reason why I went by that is because I had a conversation with her that she went through some things that I didn't know about.
Wow.
And she felt like she couldn't talk to me about it. And so we had that family meeting. Then so I went by it like, girl, the woman I am today, you can talk to me about anything.
Wow.
And so I had to come at her and like say, you know what, forgive me for not knowing. Forgive me for not asking the right questions. Forgive me for that. That takes a lot of maturity. But I didn't look at my daughter like she was my daughter. I looked at my daughter like she was just somebody that needed help.
Wow.
I looked at her
Wow.
like another human being, like a member of my church or a member of my community or a member of my TLC company. I looked at her like another young lady that was going through some things that needed my leadership instead of looking at her like, this is my daughter and I got to protect her. So I came from another angle and then she was able to receive it more.
Mm.
So I know if I looked at it as mothership, I wouldn't have never apologized or talked to her.
Wow.
Because it's like I don't owe you nothing.
Wow.
I don't owe you nothing. I don't owe
Wow.
you nothing. And I brought you
Wow.
here. My mama used to say, I brought you here, I'll take you out of here.
Oh, listen, she said it. Mother say the same thing. I think
Do you hear me what I'm saying?
anybody who grew up in an African American household where there was some level of like strong, they be like, look, I brought you in this world. I'm gonna take you out this world. You
Do
hear
you
me?
hear me?
You hear me? You know, this is really great. Like, if I would have looked at it from my mothership or my motherhood, like I wouldn't have got to this point. So, like, how did you get there? What made you say to yourself, hey, Tam, I need to have this conversation with my daughter because I want her to know from the bottom of my heart that I wasn't just out here winging it. I was only out here doing what I knew.
Because she told me I wasn't. She was like, I feel like you're my friend I grew up with, or my sister. She like, I don't
This was a personal conversation you guys had.
personal. She was like, I don't
Wow.
feel it's like you're not my mom. It's like you're my sister I grew up with. You got to
Wow.
remember, I got pregnant with her at the age of 16. And people,
Right.
I came from nothing. People told me I would never amount to anything
Wow.
because I had her.
Wow. Wow. And they probably associated you to being fast because you were young and having the kids. So and not knowing your
And I was in the
history.
church. You already know, in the church and pregnant. No,
Don't
ma'am.
don't come for us too hard tonight. Don't come for us too hard tonight. Okay.
Woo!
I know we got some mistakes in our world, and we can do better.
I was right in the church and got pregnant at 16. I was going through hell, baby.
Oh, it was real. It was real. But how did you navigate that though?
You know what? I don't know how I navigated it. I moved forward. My brother made me move to Dallas. I
Where were
moved
you
forward.
living? Where were you living at the time when you had your oldest daughter?
When I got a pregnant out line, I was living in a small town called Vernon, Texas. That's my home. That's where I'm from. Vernon, Texas is north.
It sounded like it only got like 6,000 people there.
12,000 to be exact. And it's up towards, maybe a lot of people know where Texas Tech is.
Okay.
So it's up towards Lubbock, one of the small cities before you get to Lubbock, up towards Oklahoma, that type of thing. It's like a small city, country city. Everybody know everybody. It's maybe 5 good streets. Everybody know everybody.
Wow. Wow. And so you was living there. Your brother made you move to Dallas. When you got to Dallas, tell me what happened. Tell me where the light bulb went off where you was like, yo, Tam, you gotta go now. Like you're better than this. God has made you better than this. God wants nothing more than better for you. Like, what woke you up?
Well, I started going to school. I went to the high school, and I actually became a part of this little clique, like a little gang, like a little clique. Yeah, people don't believe me. I was like the gang member almost. It was like called A1, like we was the best of the best. So I started building up my confidence. But what happened was I moved with my brother, and my brother would literally catch a ride to work and give me his car so that I can drive to school, and he would catch a ride to work. Well, thank God for my brother, Aaron Williams. Well, every single morning, my pastor now of 19 years would come on the radio station. And instead of listening to Young Jock in the club, I would listen at a young age of 18, 17 years old. I would listen to the pastor that came on at 6:30 in the morning on the way to school every day. And I was like, I need to go to this church. So I started going to that church.
Wow. Wow. And so you get to this church, and I can only imagine God is probably like really ministering to your heart. Probably like, hey, Tam, I created you more than this. At this moment, you get to this church. What happens for you? Like what epiphany happens? What's the wake up call? That's like, okay, I can do better than where I am right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was actually when I first started going to the church, it was when I met my ex-husband, my children's father, my children's father. I was actually married before young.
Yep.
And so we were going to the church for years, and it was more so like what my wake up call was, Pastor, was like, I am really running around this church worshiping God, and I'm broke as hell. I don't have anything. I don't know myself. I'm anointed and I'm appointed and I'm called by the nations, but my fruit is not showing. So my seed is falling on rocky ground, which is per word. It's not in good soil. Something is off. Something is off. And my relationship with the Father was off for a while. And I was just doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm there. I'm on the usher board. I'm on the choir. I'm on all these things. And soon as I get paid, I have nothing. And so I was like, I have to change my life. And that was my first thing. My second thing was I went through my divorce.
Yeah.
I went through my divorce and I lost everything. I lost everything. I went through a divorce. Then I had just met my dad, and they called me right after we decided to have to get a divorce. 2 days later, they called me and said my dad had been found dead.
Wow.
Then right after that, the man called us and said, y'all got to move out the house in less than 30 days. So then we lost the house. Then I was sleeping in the car. Then I lost my family. All the while I got 3 little children.
Wow. How old was your children at
that
this
was
time?
my call, like, okay.
Wow. How old were your children at this time when, like, it sounded like it's starting to rain now? What they say, when it rains it pours. How old were the children at this point in time? We talking like what? 2?
My youngest was 1.
Wow.
He's 10. It was 9 years ago in 2015.
Wow.
My son at 16 minus 9, so he was 7. So 1, 6, and Alana was 9, and now she is 19. So
this is good because they're really like in the crust of your transition. And if anyone don't know what we're talking about tonight, this episode is about discovering you. Discovering you. If there's anybody that I think is really qualified to talk about this, is Dr. Tam. You are looking and hearing a success story. And what I love is sometimes people can deem people who have a level of confidence. Because I like, what you said. You said, hey, I had to build up my confidence. Because sometimes people can view a person with confidence and say they have too much, but you don't know how they had to get to this point to even get the little that they have or enough that they had. And so you don't even know what they've been through to understand why they even respond the way that they do. And so what better person to talk about that tonight than you? And I love this because what people are hearing is not arrogance, not full of themselves. What they're hearing is a person who understands how they had to deal with struggle and how they got through that struggle to make it better for their families. And so I wanted to make sure we highlight that. So we in this transition, you losing some stuff. You lost some stuff. You lost some people. Talk to me now. When does this thing takes a leap for you? And now, like, you start making some gains in this. You start getting some wins. You start getting some victories. What happened to where you started getting these victories and wins?
So what happened was, I let the wheat and the tare grow up together. So all, like you said, when it rains and pours, right? So when it rains, it pours, but it also was raining on some good crop. And so right after my dad died, in the midst of selling the house and in the middle of my divorce, in the middle of being homeless, my children's father had called me. I was at a job. I worked a job just like the regular people. And he called me and he said, Tam, I'm thinking we about to argue, about to fight. Like, I don't have time, right? He said, it's a lady named Coach Stormy Wellington that's I've been watching on Instagram and some of these social media websites, and you remind me of her. She got 3 kids. She's divorced, and she's making like millions of dollars in this tea company.
This is your ex-husband.
My ex-husband told me about Coach Stormy in the middle of our divorce.
Wow.
So I'm thinking my mindset already was not there. I'm thinking we about to argue because every time he called him some stuff, right? And he was like calling, saying, you need to connect with this lady. He told me, he said, I don't know if this is like a lifelong thing, but you need to connect with this lady and sell whatever she's selling. Matter of fact, he was like, I seen some type of video which she would put sticky notes like this on like trees and light poles and different buildings saying, do you or anybody you know want to lose weight, get healthy, and make money? And he was like, you need to connect with her. And so I looked her up on YouTube for about a week just to see, kind of what was going on. And her stories.
Did your homework? Did your homework? I understand.
Yeah. Her story just, it was like, dang, she like me. Like, she come from where I come from. And I reached out to her on Instagram, not knowing if the lady would ever message me back. She made $1 million in 7 months. Like, she don't have to check her DM. Her assistant probably checking her DM. And she seen my message. My heart started beating. She seen my message. I was like, ma'am, look, I'm already full-time ministry. I'm a single mom of 3. I'm going through a divorce. I'm sleeping in my car, and I have $300 to my name. Like, I'm this big-time model. I'm a big-time speaker. I'm just losing everything, and I'm overweight. Can you help me? What are you selling? And she was like, I was like, I'm depressed. She was like, and she responded to me.
Wow.
And she said, you're not depressed. You need to detox yourself. And she said, call me on my direct line. And I called that lady, and she sent me, it wasn't this one at the time. She sent me a pack of tea, and I lost 7 pounds my first week from, of course, I just had my son, so it was a lot of baby weight. My stomach was big, you could be insecure. And so I lost 7 pounds my first week, and I called her back and said, I want to join the business. She said, use your last $300, because if you pay your $300 on this car that you're sleeping in, then how are you going to pay it for the next month? And I thought about it. She widened my horizon, and I used my last $300, and I got started. So fast forward a little bit, I made my first $500 the first week. And I said
that you got into the business.
When I started the business, I made $500 my first week. I called everybody in my phone, all my church members. I told everybody, I was like, I got some tea that if you drink it, you lose your stomach now. I was going crazy. It was ignorance on fire. And I
what you
started
call
winning.
it? What you call it? Ignorance on fire?
Ignorance on fire. Didn't know it. I didn't know what was in the tea. I didn't know what was going on.
But you just believed in it because you was like, hey, I lost 7 pounds. But I love that. Ignorance on fire. See, what many people don't realize is when you're passionate about something, sometimes you are a bit ignorant because you may not know all of the technical things that come along with it, but you're so passionate about it that you believe in it that you're going to sell it to its core. So ignorance on fire. I like that. Let's go. Keep going.
Yeah, so I went ignorance on fire. So then I'm like, all right. I didn't talk to Coach Stormy no more for real. So I started connecting into the business. Like, I need to show up to these events. I need to go to the event. I need to get around these people that's making money. Mind you, I'm homeless. Yeah. Mind you, if I don't sell $20, me and my kids don't eat. Mind you, the divorce is final in 2015. Then I met a man that actually just joined our live, Maceo McGriff, my mentor, my life coach, my mentor, my everything. He was just like, he reached out to me. We connected, built a relationship, and he started pouring into my spiritual. I started showing up to the events, and boom, I was the loudest one in the room, just like at church. I was the loudest one in the room. I started transforming. I lost 20 pounds my first month. I started getting my confidence up. I sold the products to get to the event. And I'm like, Coach Stormy, I was the one that I spent my last $300 to get into the business. And I want you to meet you. Can I have a picture? And it's just kept going and going and going. And man, my first 3 years, really 3.5 years, in my back office, I only had made like $25,000. I didn't make really no money in my back office, but I would stand on the corner and like hustle and say, do anybody you know want to lose 5 pounds in 5 days? And my tea was $20. And I did it for 4 years. I had earned 100,000 on hand, and I did 25,000 in my back office. And in year 4, I did $2 million.
Wow. 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 Yeah. Wow. You know why I love this? Because oftentimes, I think people don't understand, like, God gives us time. And I remember when my aunt passed away, my I don't know if I can say this online, my favorite aunt passed away. And I had the chance of eulogizing her. And I wrestled like a couple of days. I wrestled with like, what am I gonna say? What am I gonna say? What am I gonna say? And then I realized something. She preached for me. And you know what I talked about? I think my topic was like, what do you do with time? Right? And I talked about how the life that she lived it wasn't always perfect. It wasn't always the best, but she utilized her time in the way that she felt like God put her on the earth. And I oftentimes tell people this, that like we really waste time. And hear me, this conversation is not about making $1 million. Like, if you want to do that, please go for it. Right? If you want to give me $1 million, please go for it.
No, if somebody want to give us $1 million,
$1 million, please. Yeah, right. Yeah. This conversation is not that. This conversation is like how we waste time sometimes when God has like really put a lot of stuff in our hands. And I love your story. And I told you this from day one when I met you years ago. I just love your story of like how you were able to go from here to here and still keep God first. Like, I think what people fail to forget is like, you're gonna fail sometimes. It's gonna happen because you're built with the human nature. We gear up ourselves for the divine nature to let God speak to us and teach us and lead us, and the Spirit of God guides us. But the reality of it is that there's sometimes that your human nature is gonna set in and you have to fight it. But when you don't fight it, it wins. When it wins, is what you say to yourself in that moment and say, hey, can I get up from here and do it all over again. And so what I love about this, because if I was on the opposite end of this and you were interviewing me, it would be some of the same stuff that I would be talking about, like the loss of a father, what that did to me emotionally, all of that wonderful stuff. And so, man, all right. Like we almost, our time is almost up. So I don't want to waste it preaching, because this what you do to me. You stirred me up a little bit. Let's talk about this. Where is Dr. Tam, aka Tam? Where is she now on her life's journey? Like, where is she right now on her life's journey?
Wow. Dr. Tammy is, well, first, people like, how are you becoming Dr. Tammy? Well, I got my Christian leadership and business doctrine last October. Praise the Lord, right? But I am in a season of growth and becoming the person now, learning how to not just survive, but thrive and live my life now. My whole life, I've been hustling. I've been going through things. I've been overcoming. I've been, in a season of, I got to do it for my kids. I got to do it for this and got to do it for that. And now it's like those reasons are no longer. So I am learning the new Tammy. I am learning how I can apply the same principles and help other people all around the world, all across the country, because there's another Tammy that was trying to find love. There's another Tammy trying to find herself. There was another Tammy that need a business opportunity. There's another Tammy that says, man, should I do ministry again? Should I even do this? There's another Tammy out there. So, and then I'm getting married in October. I remember, I'm getting married again. You got to remember, I've been single all this time. When I first met you, Pastor Duane, I always call you my pastor. I don't know why I do that, because you are. But Pastor Duane, I remember when I first met you, I'm like, I was looking for love. I was looking for something. I was searching for something. I was hungry. And some of the conversation that we had 8 years ago, you could tell that I was just hungry for something. So now, fast forward today, it's not that I'm so hungry and thirsty. It's that I'm actually full and giving.
Whew. One more time. Pam, don't run over that. One more time. Say it again. Say it again.
Back then,
No, talk about the full and
the
giving.
full and thirsty.
The
Back then,
full and giving.
I was full and thirsty. Now I'm full and I'm giving. I was
Wow.
thirsty and hungry back then. Now I'm full and giving.
Wow.
Giving
You,
out what I have.
you see the difference though?
I'm starting to see it now.
And like
It took me
this,
some time.
this is what this podcast is all about. Um I can't give out any names, but one of my, I don't call people followers. I don't really like that. That's not my thing. I call people, family. I associate social media to family, so I say Facebook family or Instagram family. That's why I always say good morning family. Like I'm not knocking nobody else, but that's not my thing to call people followers, because I feel like we should follow Christ, and I'm just a conduit that He puts on the earth to, hey, say this, do this, help this person understand that, and that's it. And I walk away. Once, like I've come to a place that God uses us as a tool, and when you finish using the hammer, you put it away. Right? When you finish using a screwdriver, you put it away. And I think too many people want to continuously hammer when, like, God's like, hey, I use you right now. All right, go over here. Now, that doesn't mean I'm done with you. That doesn't mean you devalue. That just means, like, I'm using you within my confines that I want you to be used in. And so I say that to say, met one of my IG followers. We were talking today, and I didn't know her story, and I'm not going to tell her story. She'll be on here at some point in time. And man, she told me her story with the articles to follow. I was like, Jesus, I didn't know that. But like when you look at her IG, she's full and giving,
Wow.
full and
Thank you.
living.
Mm-hmm.
And if I could share, if I could just, this ain't about me today. This is about Tam. I'm the host. But if I could just share a little bit of my story, and I just say this, man, I'm full and giving. Like
I'm
people see me smile, people see me joke, people see me be jovial, but what they don't understand is I'm that way because a lot of it was I had to fight to be there. You know what I mean? And I love this story. Do me a favor, because we at our time, and I'm not gonna hold you long. And I know it's
I'm
early
cool.
there.
I'm all yours. I'm good.
I know it's getting a little late here, but it's early in Dallas. Tell people who don't know, because I believe many people already know. Tell people where they can find you on all of the social media handles, even
Yes.
websites if you have them.
Of course I do. You can find me. You can actually Google me, Tammy Price, but you can find me on Dr. Tammy P on Instagram. Prayer Sacrifice Action on Instagram. You can definitely email I am Tammy with a T at gmail.com. Facebook is Dr. Tammy P or Dr. Tammy Price on Facebook. All sources. You know,
Mm,
you can put in low vibration, high vibration plate and find me. Okay. You can put in all sorts of things and find me. So yes, Dr. Tammy Price, all over the board. Tammy with a T, all over the board.
yeah, I love that. Well, I'm gonna let you give a word really quickly. I'm gonna ask you to do something, and then I'm gonna come and give my 60 seconds of signing off word. But I want you to encourage any single mother as well as any person that may be in a seat that you once was in. What would you say to them to encourage them right now?
I would say to a single mom right now that is not where you start, is where you finish. But you've got to
Woo.
start. Don't get stuck in the start. Stop, get out of your head and get into your life. The Bible says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. And I would tell anybody that may be going through anything, whether it's singleness, single parent, single whatever, any type of circumstance, to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Don't stay stuck in where you are. Make a decision that I am not going to stay here. And by the grace of God and by my faith in God, all things are already worked out for me. I just got to already become it. I got to walk like it, talk like it, live like it. And one day it's just going to show up in my life. It's going to happen for you. If you
Wow.
do some prayer, and you sacrifice some things, sacrifice some people, cut off some people you know don't mean you no good, and you take massive action, faith without works is dead. PSA is the key to all blessings. And I will tell the world, and the world will know that that's the key.
Yeah, I love it. Well, y'all heard from Dr. Tammy tonight. Here's my 60 seconds to let you know something that I think is very important. No matter where you are in life, no matter what you're going through, God definitely sees you. You may be asking the question, if he sees me, why is he not helping me? It is simple. God helps those who helps themselves. And sometimes God wants to see how much persistency, consistency, and energy that you would give to something that is beyond what you can see right now. For faith, the size of a mustard seed, can move mountains. The question becomes, where's your faith? Do you have enough faith to see yourself where you belong and where you need to go? If so, I want to challenge you. Keep believing, keep fighting, keep staying in the fight. This has been another episode of the Authentically You podcast. We are live here every Thursday on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, hearing from everyday people telling their everyday stories from their everyday life with an extraordinary twist to it. Why don't you join us? Be a part of the conversation. God bless you and have a superb night.